Hey, what is going on, my Leos? Butch Tarot here. I am going to be doing your May monthly read from now to the end of May. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. And where it is the monthly, remember that I may not resonate with you today. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. Before I start, the reason I made that weird look is I seen a text and it said the CRA had deposited this money in my account. I don't know if you guys get that scam, but I just seen somebody deposit money in my account. I was like, that's cool. But then I was like, oh, bummer. I just wanted to tell you that because I made that weird look at the camera. That's what it is. The camera is my phone. Anyway, I usually have that turned off so I don't see it, but let's get into it. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams. With all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Leos from now to the end of May? What do we see coming their way? What messages do we have? All right. We have a lot to unpack. The first thing I'm getting, I feel like someone new coming in. It's a really weird feeling. I feel like this person, you kind of meet them through someone else. The Three of Cups, a gathering of some sort, someone that you work with. But I feel like you meet this person, it's almost like a random encounter. Like you weren't intending to meet them, but it doesn't feel random. You know that feeling where you feel like you were supposed to be there? Like it was all this was all in alignment. Anyway, let's get further into this and see what's going on. Now, the reason I say that is, I feel like you were meant to meet this person. I feel like it's almost like you were waiting for them. I feel like a very deep connection with this person very early on. I feel like there's this sense that you have about this person. And one thing I'm getting is really, if you take nothing else from this message, trust your intuition. You have nothing to fear by trusting your intuition. With the High Priestess, and then we had that Nine of Swords in reverse. I feel like trusting your intuition is the way to go here. Like I said, you'll know when you know. There's this, like I said, there's this fearlessness here. And I feel like with this person, one of the things you really notice when you're around this person is there's no real struggle. There's no internal struggle. You know how when you meet someone for the first time, you kind of want to hold back a little bit, or, you have this mental struggle where you're like, Are they really who they say they are? All those things tied into one. I mean, I don't feel like there's any conflict here. Very easily. I mean, conversation comes easily to the two of you. Very, like I said, I mean, you just met them, but it feels very, I mean, I see a lot of conversation between the two of you really getting to know each other and establishing that trust. I mean, I feel like the establishment happens from the very beginning. I feel like there's already an establishment of trust, but it's just working on it, moving forward. Like I said, with this person, there's no internal struggle. There's no like, it's just trust your intuition. I mean, you're going to know exactly what you want. And trust me when I say this, they know exactly what they want. This is very... I'm getting a really weird feeling like you've met this person before, but you didn't know you met them. But like I said, somewhere down the road, you met this person before. And it could have by chance. I feel like you didn't really meet them because it wasn't the time. The time wasn't right. I don't know why I'm getting this weird feeling about that. What I'm seeing is nurture this connection. I feel like being with this person offers you balance. It gives you a balance in all ways, shapes, and forms. This is something you're going to want to nurture because I feel like they definitely will be. And again, that ties us back to trusting your intuition and that fearless energy. I mean, there's something about this person. It's the way they make you feel. I mean, Michael Jackson wasn't wrong, We got the Emperor and the Empress. I mean, I feel like you feel safe with this person, but they also make you feel very vulnerable. I know that kind of contradicts itself, but that's what I'm feeling. They make you feel wanted. They make you feel wanted just by the way they look at you. And I feel like you're going to love that. They don't have to say the words, but they will. It's like when someone looks at you and they're looking at just you. And it's like when they see you, the way they look at you, the way their eyes kind of, scan your face. It's not about the physical with that. It's someone, they're like soaking you up. Like I said, it's very contradicting. They make you feel safe, but also they make you vulnerable. I mean, I see a lot of love here. I feel like you're meant to meet this person, and I feel like you weren't before. You crossed paths, but I don't feel like you were meant to meet then, so that's why you didn't. That balanced energy, I mean, you balance each other out. I mean, this is something built, when we talk about, there's a whole lot of love here. I mean, a lot of nurturing, a lot of real love. With the King of Cups, that had mature emotional energy, and the Queen of Cups had nurturing energy. I mean, I'm seeing this coming from both sides. And even though, like I said, very open, very easy to talk to this person, it just feels like you kind of know them already. And I feel like energetically you do. That's why I get the feeling you met this person before. Energies don't forget each other. They have a memory that's much larger than ours. The energies that our memory is much larger than we think it is. You know, if you've ever read about your brain capacity, I'm not going to go into it, but read into it. It's pretty crazy. Um, King of Wands. I mean, this person wants to grab you and hold on. And one of the things I absolutely love about this, I mean, there's a lot to love here. You know, both with a lot of love to give. You know, I see new love. You know, a strong love. And not only bringing balance to each other, like it feeling like this is where it, that balance of feeling you're exactly where you were meant to be. And this is where you want to be. You know, I feel like not only that, but I feel like this person inspires you. You know, they pump you up. They're your pump up person. You know, your MC. And it's not even just, it's not out of intention. They're not doing it on purpose. That's just how they feel about you, and they're not afraid to say it. And that just makes, you know, when you have someone that truly, authentically loves you and is in your corner, you feel that much stronger. You know, and that's why we have the Strength card. I feel like you both inspire each other to be better. I'm not saying you're bad anyway. I'm just saying they just drive you to that next level unintentionally. There's a very, very weird line in that. You know, some people want you to be better, so, you know, maybe they want you to make more money. That's not what I see with this person. It's not like that. You know, your partner may want you to make more money, which can benefit, which obviously will inevitably benefit them. This is not for their benefit. I mean, you inspire each other unintentionally. And I love that shit. I absolutely love that. I love when you authentically want someone to be successful at whatever they do, even if their job is working as a volunteer with no hidden agenda. You know, there's no hidden agendas here. And again, I mean, trust your intuition. I feel like when you meet this person, I feel like it's going to be, the connection is going to be instant. Like I said, the rest will follow. There will be a physical connection. You know, physically drawn to this person. I don't mean physically like the way they look. I'm not saying you won't. Or they like the way you look. I'm not saying they won't. What I mean by that, you know, that very physical connection, I just feel like it's almost like you're drawn to that person. If you've ever been out and you've seen someone and you just said, you know, I want to talk to that person. I'd like to know that person. Who's that person? That's the energy I get right off the hop. I mean, there's a lot going on here. A lot of major arcana. I mean, we got the Strength card, we got the Temperance, we got Lovers, the High Priestess, we got the Emperor and the Empress, we got the Star card. You know, we finish this off with the Hangman. I feel like you both are going to come out of this seeing things very differently than you did before. You know, and I feel like that has a lot to do with sometimes we're jaded by love. You know, we fall for the wrong person, they hurt us, and you know, then we're always kind of wondering, you know, will the next person be like that? You know, it kind of jades us. Should I be more careful with the next person? But just remember, when you're more careful with the next person, you're giving them less opportunity than the first person. Sometimes I think about that and I think, well, the next person is going to be above and beyond anyway. The ideas I come up with sometimes, I'm telling you. I'd write a book that no one would want to read. I might not even read it. This just hits different on all the different angles, but I still, you may not figure it out in the beginning of this, but somewhere down the line, you're going to realize that you met this person. I feel like your energy when you meet this person, the reason that connection hits so hard is because I feel like you were already energetically connected. It's like that feeling when someone's away, someone you really care about is away for a long time, and you get to see them again. I watch a lot of those, coming home videos and stuff, and that feeling, you just feel connected. Your body, mind, body, and soul missed that connection, and that connection is reunited, and it just gives off this energy similar to this, but obviously I don't feel like you know this person from before. I feel like you've met them in one way, shape, or form, but you don't know them. Not yet, but you will. With this person, I mean, we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, Cancer, and Pisces. I do get a feeling of some Taurus energy. It's hard to explain sometimes. I get these feelings during reads, and it's hard to explain how my brain works. It's very... the thing I wanted to tell you during the read, but I stopped talking as much in the read. I'm just going to get your cards out. I'm going to, read the cards and keep my stories to the end. So one of the things that interests me, and I've told you this before, it's just how the brain works, how things work. I'm a very curious person. And I remember reading this short story from 1929, and it was kind of the idea, it was called Chains. But it's kind of the idea of 6 degrees of separation, which is fascinating to me, that any person in the world can be connected to you within 6 degrees. Now, what that means, I know most of you are going to know what that means. I'm just saying because I want everybody to understand, to be on the same page. Sometimes people say things that I don't know, and I'm like, I feel like I'm behind. I'm not part of it. So just to include everyone, 6 degrees of separation is basically, let's do movie stars. Okay, so we're talking about it, and this is fictional. This is not movies they've actually been in that I know of. I mean, I guess it could be. So Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio are in a movie together, Django. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio is in a movie with Tom Hanks, Catch Me If You Can. Tom Hanks is in a movie with see, I went blank. I feel like I'm explaining way too much, but you get what I mean. At the end of that chain, there may be another actor that Jamie Foxx never worked with, but he can know him. Now, the fascinating thing about it is, think about 6 people that you know. Now, 6 people that they know makes 36 people. Now, 6 people that they know makes 216 people. Now, the 6 people that they know makes 1,200 and something people. 6 people that they know knows 7,700 and something. My math isn't great. And then 6 people they know is like 46,000. And if you keep going with that, 279,000, 1.6 million. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's crazy how you can know someone without knowing them, but there's a possibility that you could know them and you're connected to them. It may be way off. I just love the idea of that, though, that we are all connected and we all, within 6 different angles, we could be connected to each other. One person can be connected to someone that's completely different. And so far, like I was thinking the other day, this one woman emailed me and she said she was from India. So somebody from India watches me. Now, think about if someone watches this channel, and it blows my mind really because it makes it really big. But then you have somebody from Texas, and you have someone from Russia, and you have someone from China, you have someone from Norway, England, and all those 6 people, through 6 people that they know, they may, 2 of them may like mechanic videos on YouTube. It's so crazy when you think of that, and I'm just getting so blown up. But again, back to the relevance of this, I feel like there's times when we meet people. I actually, kind of a funny story. We're gonna go into it because I want to. No, I'm just joking. Nobody's telling me to stop, so I'm gonna do it. I used to go to the store. I moved across Canada to work in the oil rigs years and years ago. Seems so long ago now. But I met this girl that she worked at the store. Like, I don't know why I said it like that, because I don't mean like I met her, like there's anything between us. I just remember meeting this girl, and she just kind of, was new. And then I found out she was from, kind of where I'm from. I never thought nothing of it. And then I met this guy, and he ended up being from the same place. I find out that's her boyfriend. I'm like, okay, cool. I go out. They had a barbecue. They invited me to a barbecue. I went to that barbecue, and she was going to introduce me to her sister. Her sister couldn't make it. Now, 2 years later, I meet Rose. Fierce Tarot, like most of you know. My better half. 2 years later, I meet her. Come to find out, that's her sister. The one that I was supposed to meet. I felt I was in a bad place when I was there. Like when I first moved, I was just kind of homesick, and a lot of things going on. Life was really down, got me down. I was in a bad place, and I wasn't ready to meet anybody. I shouldn't meet anybody. And it's funny because I ended up meeting her. I didn't end up meeting her. 2 years later, I come to find out, and I didn't find out right away. I didn't realize it right away. We started dating, and then I met her sister, and that's when it all fell together. And I didn't meet her sister for 3 months after we were dating. Now that's a little different. But the relevance to that story is not only did I not meet her, I seen her almost every day. She worked at the grocery store that I used to go to. And remember, I always thought she was pretty. And she always kind of caught my eye, but I never said anything to her. She never said anything to me. There was never any interaction. But come to find out 2 years later, I mean, it's funny how things happen. Like, there's a few times where I thought about asking her out, but I just didn't feel like I was in that place. I thought she was special. I knew there was something special about her. And I wasn't ready. You ever get in that place where you know you're not ready, so you don't go do what you want to do? Because you're just like, okay, I could do it now and screw it up. Or I can wait till I'm ready. Anyway, I feel like I've been speaking forever. I apologize. Sometimes I get on a roll, and You know, I get these stories in my head, these ideas during a read, and I'm so trying so very hard not to ruin the read with that, because I know some people just want to watch the read, and I appreciate you watching. And then there's others that like this little story time at the end and make it more relevant. You know, I like putting into perspective because I'm more of a visual person. So somebody can explain to me by, very direct terms, or you could visually show me and I'll learn it faster, or understand it better. Anyway, be good. Take care. Stay safe.